Hey, it's Jack, and this video is called How to Make a Man Miss You. My name's Jack Butler. I'm a relationship coach, and I release videos several times a week on relationships and personal growth. If you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, just go ahead, click the button here on the bottom screen, and then tap that bell notification so that you receive new videos as soon as they come out. And hey, if you haven't taken my free webinar, you'll find a link for the webinar below this video. If you just click that link, you'll find a time that works for you and your time zone. And the webinar is called 3 Keys to Being Relationship Ready. It's had really amazing feedback, and if you haven't taken it, it will be one of the best investments of 90 minutes of your time. All right, so welcome to this video, How to Make a Man Miss You. This is a super common thing that women are searching for if you look in Google search or anything that tells you what people are searching for. So I thought I'd give you a completely different take on this than I think most people give in the YouTube community. So I want to unpack it a little bit. How to make a man miss you. Before we go into how to make a man miss you, I want to ask the question, why are you wanting to make a man miss you? What is going on there? And probably, I'm going to give you some kind of gross orienting generalizations here. Probably one of the things that might be going on is that you want to feel special, right? You want to feel like he's thinking of you, that you're on his mind, that you're on his heart, and I totally get why you would want that. And I want to challenge the notion that you need to do anything in order that he considers you to be special. Wouldn't you want to end up with the guy who is already always attracted to your specialness, the unique fragrance, unique fragrance that's you, without you actually having to perform, do something, make something happen? What would it be like if you could know deep down that actually your ability to have him miss you is related to your ability to be yourself? And that if you're in the orientation of being yourself, that is actually not only enough, it's the best way to have him be spending time thinking about you or to have you on his heart, because he's actually connected to the real flavor and signature that is you. If you're not doing that, what are you doing? You're probably playing some games, right? You're probably making some kind of performance. You're probably trying hard in order to make an impression on him. And underneath that, the chances are you'll probably feel insecure at some level because you're not really trusting that who you are is enough, that who you are is the thing that he's going to find special and unique and attractive, rather than some kind of game, performance, mask, role, or persona that you have to put on. Right? If every time you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do this thing and that's going to make him miss me, it's kind of like you don't really get to just be you and hang out and relax and enjoy that the right guy is going to be attracted to you, not just once, but ongoingly, right? That's the kind of filter of your own authenticity, is that it encourages the right guy to be attracted to you. Now, the other reason though you might want him to miss you is because you want his attention. Absolutely. The right guy is going to give you attention. So there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it just might be that there's not a specific strategy that you need to deploy, so much as noticing if a guy doesn't want to consistently give you attention, what is he? He's not your guy. What is he? That's right, he's not your guy. Let's just double click on that. He's not your guy because the right guy is going to want ongoingly to give you attention. Of course, there may be ebbs and flows. Of course, there may be times that he withdraws, or that he's really busy with work, or there are lots of demands on his plate. But the overall trend of his orientation to you is that he is going to want to give you attention because he wants the specialness that you bring to his life. He wants the unique flavor that is you in his life. He likes giving you attention. You light him up. You make him feel more alive. You refresh him with your energy. All these things and more, not because of something that you specifically did, but because actually you trusted that in your beingness, in your essence, you were enough. Do you get the sense of how that can allow you to relax and allow you to be yourself and allow you to let the right guy come into your field, and the wrong guys can just leave, right? Not in a harsh way, just in a real way. Because the real right guy is going to want to give you real attention over the long term. That's part of how we know that he's the right guy. It's not sufficient. There are going to be plenty of other ways that you're going to want him to show up for you, right? In terms of him being willing to prioritize the relationship, in terms of him investing time and energy in the relationship, in bettering the relationship, in terms of his being able to do inner work with you, right? If you're two conscious people that are working on yourselves, you're going to want that to come from him as well. But it's not because you did something specific that you made him do that. Much better than making a man miss you is having already the guy that wants to miss you and will miss you. Do you get the difference there? Rather than you trying to do something that has him miss you, what about if you were already the person that is so connected to him, that is in his heart, that he actually misses you, right? Because really, you can play mind games, or you can mess with guys' attachment systems. There's all sorts of things that you could do to hijack someone's attention and have them on your mind. But really, when you boil it down, you actually don't want to be so much on his mind as on his heart, in his heart. You want the authentic place in his heart that he reserves for you, because you are his person. And you are his person that he wants to go back to again and again, because that's who you are to him, that you're in his heart, right? So do you see that when you're in someone's heart, does a mother have to think about her children? Do they have to make her miss them, right? Do you have to remember to think about the people that you love? Do you have to remember the things that you love, let alone people? Do you have to remember that you love music, or that you love piano or nature or children or your line of work? Do you kind of have to remember that? Or is it just already always there in your heart wherever you are, because that's the quality of contact that you have with that thing? That's what it means to you. That's why you care about it, because it is in your heart. There's no substitute in dating and relationships for you being in his heart, right? When you boil it all down, that's kind of what it's about, right? Yes, there are real compatibility factors. Yes, there are sometimes some contextual factors, but right up there, the kind of the pinnacle of what you're going to want to experience with someone, and the truth of what you experience someone, is the authentic heart. The authentic heart is the truthful heart, right? You can't pretend. If you really tune in with someone and get down with them, and you ask him, like, am I in your heart, right? You can't pretend that. Yeah, you can make excuses or you can talk around it, but really there's just a simplicity of a truth of who is the person that is in your heart. Who is the person that's in his heart? The person that he's most going to miss is the person that's in his heart, right? The person he wants to be bonded to, attached to. So we can play all sorts of kind of tricks or mind games or deploy strategies, but that's kind of at the surface level, and we're just taking a deeper cut here and noticing that there's something that's way more important for you to attune to. Are you in his heart? Is he in your heart? Is that what has him wanting to attend to you? Is that what has him missing you? And just, I can find that place in myself where I'm just excited to go home and connect and be with my woman, right? Not because of any specific thing that she's done to make me miss her, just because I miss her already. Sometimes I miss her when she's only just walked out of the door, right? That's what you want, I think. I don't think you want a whole series of things that you've got to remember to do and to see the impact and to make a performance and kind of get away from yourself and always have this gnawing doubt at the back of your mind. Is he really the one? Am I really his woman? Because of these things I have to do to make him want me, to make him miss me, to make him want to attend with me. That's all wrong. You've kind of already lost the game, so to speak, there, of the deeper possibility that is, if you are authentically, richly yourself, that you can authentically and richly attract the right guy who always already has you in his heart, and from that place he misses you. Can you just feel that? Just breathe that in a little bit. That's probably a possibility that you might even have checked out from, because you didn't even know if it was possible, or you're not even sure it's possible, and you've kind of perhaps dumbed down the authentic desire that your heart has to be in a connection with someone where you're trying to do things that make them miss you. And maybe he's responding to that, right? Maybe he's having you, encouraging you to show up in a way that has you have to do something in order that he misses you. You don't have to do something to have him miss you. You have to be the right connection for him. You have to be the right person in his soul, in his heart, in his path, in his true direction in life, that you are that person for him, right? And if that's not already happening and you're in a connection with someone and you've been connecting with them for a while, this might be a little tough to hear, but you might want to really take stock of, is that your guy, right? If you're continually feeling some kind of insecurity, bear in mind that you've done your work on your own insecurities to some extent, right? You presence them, you don't make him wrong for them. But if you're continually feeling insecure in the connection and wondering, how do I make him miss me? Wouldn't it be better to just know that he tends to miss you because that's how much he cares for you. That's how much you're in his heart, right? There's a kind of simplicity to this. Now you might be listening to this and saying, well, that sounds overly simplistic to me. Like, I've heard there's all these things we need to do, and guys like this and guys like that and guys like this and guys like that. And I'm here to say I think most of that, honestly, is kind of noise, right? How much has that landed the people who are teaching you that, the actual heart-connected, authentic, soul, committed relationship that you want and that they probably want? And if that's what you want, you might want to notice, well, who is actually on that path to help support you, guide you, teach you in that way? And if that's what you want, you might want to get less fixated about the tactics and strategies of dating and more fixated about your own essence and authenticity and realness, so that you can have a real, mature love relationship with a real man, right? A man who knows who he is, right? A man that doesn't need to play games, a man that doesn't need you to deploy things to miss him. Yeah, you can ping him, you can tease him, you can play with him, you can create mystery, you can create awe. All those things are possible. I'm not down on the mystery of love. I'm not saying don't have that flavor of intrigue, but the core teachings that I've seen about making people miss you aren't coming from a deep, soulful, heart-connected place. And so if you want a deep, soulful, heart-connected relationship, it doesn't make sense to me that you would listen to that. It doesn't make sense to me that that would be the most authentic and true path for you. I'm not making it wrong. I'm just saying it's kind of sprinklings on the cake, and you and I need to really talk about how to bake a cake first. Because if you want a long-term committed love relationship, that's what your orientation needs to be to. Not the person you need to impress into missing you. It's actually the person that you don't need to impress, because they're already so impressed authentically and naturally by who you are, that there's already a singing in them, an aliveness in them that comes online in your presence. That's what you want, where just your sheer beingness and feminine radiance and beauty and essence and truth of who you are, that's all it is. That's enough. That's brilliant. It's beautiful. It's what has them feel connected to you, and ultimately it's what has them miss you when you're not physically in each other's presence. Can you connect with the power of that? Like, maybe you really want that. Maybe that's a really deep and true desire for you, and you might have gone to sleep a bit on the depth of the desire that you have for that in relationship, because there's so much noise, there's so much Tinder, there's so much pen pal writing back and forth, and he said this and he said that, and does he mean this and does he mean that? That's a distraction, I think, often to the knowingness of a heart connection where you are in someone's heart. Does that mean it's going to be easy every day? Absolutely not. Does that mean you're still going to have your work to do? Absolutely. Does it mean that your wounds and your defenses and your childhood strategies that you need to overcome are going to be there? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? That's the path of healing. Show me someone that's fully baked and is not on that path of healing, or maybe you haven't even initiated that path of healing. But it's that kind of orientation, in my humble opinion, having coached thousands of hours and had a fair number of adult relationships that did not work out for me, it's that I'm bringing to you to say, hey, if you can slow it down, connect with yourself, notice the quality of connection you have with a man, even just that, right? Even if you were like, you know what, I'm going to take one thing from this video, I'm going to learn how to notice if I'm really in a guy's heart, because that's the safest and securest place for you to be in relationship. You know, not the specific things that you hear him say, or not the specific expectations that you're overlaying on the relationship, not the specific things that you've learned how to do that, quote, might make him miss you, but really the knowing fact that he is the person that has you in his heart, and that means something, and that already means that he's going to miss you. That's what I want for you. That's the stand that I take. That's the orientation I bring into all my coaching relationships, is that there is a right connection out there. I'm not saying it's just one right connection, but there's at least one right connection where you get to be yourself and you get to be loved for that, where you don't have to try too hard, put the effort into building the relationship and the work on yourself, but not into I'm having to be on my best behavior to show up for this person and impress them or play a particular game or strategy with them. That's exhausting, it's tiring, and it takes you further away from yourself. It actually erodes at your confidence in your authentic self, because you don't even know who your authentic self is, because you're so busy strategizing and playing, right? When you get to slow it down and notice, oh, I like to be with this person because I actually feel more myself with them. Now we're on the path, right? Now we're attuning to the things that really matter. Just making sure that my microphone is up here. Now we're tuning to the things that really matter, right? It's not hard in that place. It's not an efforting in that place for you to feel connected to the person that you want to have them in your heart. And that is ultimately, when we strip it all away and you want someone to miss you, it's because you want someone to recognize your specialness, your uniqueness, your aliveness, and your radiance. And the right guy in the right relationship you will always already notice that. Thanks for being here. I'm Jack.